Hello everyone. Today we're going to be covering the next three skills in the rates and proportional relationships unit, starting with solving proportions. Then we're going to move into writing proportions. And lastly, we're going to do some proportion word problems together. So let's go back to solving proportions. Let's just review the steps on how to solve proportions first. So as you can see, we're starting here with 8 over 3 equals 192 over n. So your first step here would be to find your cross products, which means that you have to multiply 8 times n, which is going to give me 8n, and then 192 times 3, which gives me 576. And then just like in a one-step equation, to get my variable n by itself, we have to do the inverse operation. Since multiplication is happening between the 8 and the n, the inverse operation is division. I'm going to divide both sides by 8. That's going to cancel out. 8 divided by 8 is 1n, or just n by itself. And 576 divided by 8 gives us our answer of n equals 72. So let's take a look at a few of these examples. So starting with this first one here, I'm going to find my cross products. 8 times n is 8n. 10 times 10 is 100. And then my last step to get my variable by itself is to divide both sides by 8. So you can leave your answer as an improper fraction. However, you always need to remember to simplify. I know I can divide both 108 by 4. 100 divided by 4 is 25. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. Or if you want to write that as a decimal, 25 divided by 2 gives us 12.5. Let's take a look at number 2. Again, we're going to find our cross products first. 5 times x is 5x. 7 times 3 is 21. And then my last step would be to divide both sides by 5. I can't simplify 21 over 5, so my answer would either just be 21 over 5, or if we divide 21 by 5 on a calculator, we would get 4.2. Both of those would be considered correct answers. Okay, again, we're just going to find our cross products. 10 times q is 10q. 9 times 3 is 27. And then to get q by itself, we just simply divide through by 10, leaving us with an answer of 27 over 10. Or if I were to divide 27 by 10, I would get 2.7. So either of those would be correct answers. And one last one. We've got 6 times k, which is 6k. 4 times 11 is 44. And then when I divide both sides by 6, I get 44 over 6, which I can simplify. I know I can divide both of those by 2. So that's going to leave us with 22 over 3. If I were to divide 22 by 3, we would end up getting a repeating answer, which if you're doing this skill in Khan Academy, there's no way to put repeating answers in. So 22 over 3 would be your best option. All right, the next skill is writing proportions. So there's a few steps for solving these. Your first step is going to be setting up your proportion, and in order to do that, always use your keywords off to the side. And then you just need to find your cross products and look at all the answer choices to find the answer choices that are going to give you the same exact cross products. So let's take a look at an example on what exactly I mean. So it says 9 pencils cost $7.74. Which equation would help determine the cost of 6 pencils? Notice it does say there is one correct answer. So I'm going to set up my proportion. I'm going to do dollars over pencils, just because money typically always goes on top. So I'm looking for 7.74 over 9 equals, well, where's my 6 going to go? Well, since pencils is on the bottom, my 6 goes on the bottom. And let's just use x. Now, I'm looking for my cross products that are going to give me 9x equals. So looking right here at answer choice A, I can see that I'm going to get 9x equals whatever 6 times $7.74 is. So right away, I can tell that A is the correct choice. If you look here, that's not going to give me 9x. C also does not give me 9x, it would give me 6x. And here I wouldn't get 9x either. So that means none of these options would work, leaving A as the correct answer choice. You don't even need to solve the other side of your cross product, because I know that I'm looking for a proportion that's going to give me the same cross products as the original one I wrote up here. Remember, there's more than one way that you can set up a proportion. Okay, next one, we're doing 3 markers cost $5.79. Which equation would help determine the cost of 13 markers? So we're dealing with dollars over markers. So I'm going to start with 5.79 for 3 equals how much for 13? So looking here, I want to find a cross product that's going to give me 3x. So A does not do that. B does not do that. Look at C. That's going to give me 3 times x, which is what I'm looking for. And if we look here, also does not give me that. So the correct answer here would be C. 3 erasers cost $4.41. Which equation would help determine the cost of 4 erasers? So let's do dollars on top over erasers. So I'm going to set up 4.41 over 3 is going to equal x over 4. Again, we're looking for a proportion that's going to give us 3x equals whatever 4.41 times 4 is. So starting with my variable in A, that's not going to give me 3x. Looking at B, that's also not going to give me 3x. That's going to be 4x, which doesn't work. We want 3x. Oh, look at answer choice D. Notice it's got 3 times x, which gives us that 3x that we're looking for. So D would be the correct answer choice for this one. Okay, let's do one more. We're going to do dollars over glue sticks. I'll use G for glue sticks. So we're going to do 7.76 over 4. And that's going to equal x over 13. So we're looking for 4x equals then whatever 13 times 7.76 is. So taking a look at the first answer choice, that's not going to give me 4x, so let's cross that out. B is also not going to give us 4x. If you look at C, it has 4 times x, so C is going to be the correct choice here. But let's just take a look at the last one. That would give you 13x. So the correct answer choice for this one is C. Okay, the last skill is proportion word problems. So it's basically taking what we've talked about and applying it to solving real world problems. So again, I'm going to encourage you to put your keywords there first. So we're doing 44 pounds of bananas costs $352. How much would 13 pounds cost? Well, I'm going to do dollars over pounds. Whenever I have money, I always put the money on top. However, you could do pounds over dollars as well. That would be fine as well. So I've got $352 for 44 pounds. And that's going to equal, well, where's my 13 going to go? I can see pounds goes on the bottom. So 13 goes on the bottom. Now, you can use calculators for these problems. 44 times x is going to give me 44x. 352 times 13 gives me 4,576. And then my last step is to divide through by 44. And that's going to give us an answer of x equals 104. And you should always label your answers. We are trying to find how much money. Notice your variables up top with the dollar sign, so there should be a dollar sign in front of my answer. So it costs $104 for 13 pounds. Let's take a look at the bottom. A boat travels 260 miles in 7 hours with constant speed. How much time will it take traveling 215 miles? Notice it does say round to the nearest hundredths place. That's 2 decimal places we need to go out. So we've got miles and hours, so I'm just going to put miles on top of hours. So 260 over 7 is going to equal, well, 215 miles. I can see I put miles on top. So that means that x is going to go on the bottom. 260 times x is 260x. And then on the calculator, 215 times 7 is 1,505. And then my last step is to divide through by 260. That's going to cancel out there. And then on my calculator, I'm going to take 1505 and divide that by 260. So that gives me an answer of x equals 5.7884661. It keeps going. So it did say to round it to the nearest hundredths place. So this 8 is in my hundredths place, which means the number to the right of it tells us what to do. 5 and above, we give it a shove. 4 and below, we let it go. So since that's 5 and above, that means my 8 is going to round to a 9, leaving us with our final answer of 5.79. X was on the bottom, which means your label should be hours. Okay, let's try a few more of these. Elizabeth's birthday party will cost $125 if she invites 8 guests. If there are 15 guests, how much will Elizabeth's birthday party cost? Okay, and notice there's a little hint there that says, what place value does money always get rounded to? Well, when we think of dollars, we always take it out 2 decimal places, which means it gets rounded to the hundredths place. So we've got money involved. So my keywords, I'm going to do dollars over guests. So $125 to have 8 guests. We want to know how much if there's 15. We're going to do our cross products. 8 times x is 8x. 125 times 15 is 1,875. And then our last step is to divide through by 8. And that's going to give us an answer of 234.375. Now again, it's money, so we have to round it to the hundredths place. My 7 is in my hundredth spot. 5 and above, we give it a shove, so that 5 is telling me that my final answer then is going to be $234.38. Okay, Pamela drove her car 99 kilometers and used 9 liters of fuel. She wants to know how many kilometers K she can drive with 12 liters of fuel. She assumes the relationship between kilometers and fuel is proportional. How many kilometers can Pamela drive with 12 liters of fuel? So if you look at your keywords, we're using kilometers and we're using liters. So I'm going to do KM, which is our abbreviation. I'm going to do a capital L for liters. So let's set up a proportion. 99 for 9 liters equals how far can she drive with 12 liters? Well, liters goes on the bottom and X on top. 9 times X is 9X. And 99 times 12 is 1,188. And then my last step is to divide through by 9. And that leaves us with 132 kilometers. So that would be the answer. Maddie is carrying a 5-liter jug of sports drink that weighs 7.5 kilograms. She wants to know how many kilograms a 2-liter jug of sports drink would weigh. She assumes the relationship between volume and weight is proportional. What is the weight of the 2-liter jug? So we're doing liters in kilograms. So I'm going to set up my proportion. 5 over 7.5 equals, we want to know how many kilograms a 2-liter jug would be. So liters goes on top, W on the bottom. 5 times W is 5W. 7.5 times 2 is 15. And then our last step is to divide through by 5. And 15 divided by 5 gives us 3 kilograms, which is our answer. Okay, that does it for those 3 skills. The correlating note-taking packet pages are pages 22 through 25, top of the page. And as always, you can watch the videos in Khan Academy if you want to see additional examples for these skills. Have a great day, everybody.